Good afternoon.
Good evening, wherever you are on this amazing and currently in our area, hot planet. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shia.
Welcome to being here. Vacation.
If you could be here for your vacation, what would it look like?
It would look like now. Shia and I not too long ago went on vacation in the normal sense of the word, where we took a trip. We visited our friend Dave up in Winnipeg, and then we went off to a place called Lake in the Woods, and we were fishing for a brand new type of fish for us, muskellage. And so one would think on vacation
You would
be relaxed,
right?
but wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's always an opportunity to let go of the forward pressures of producing a goal, the backward thinking of analyzing what you may or may not have done, quote, wrong, and allow yourself to simply be here and know that you are enough. Not really know, experience.
Yeah. But enough is like so hard to get because, first off, our approach is about the moment. It is not about psychology or trying to figure out why you are the way you are, which I am really happy for because I am unique, as are you. Each of us are unique and we may have similarities, but one of the uniquenesses is that we push ourselves to try to be better than we are, thinking how we are just isn't enough. And I'm afraid that's part of the conditioning of growing up in any culture in this world. We are raised in forward-thinking cultures where we are stressed to get somewhere that's better than where we are. Only problem with that is you can only be where you are. You can't be different than you are in the current moment of your life, which should give you an opportunity to relax, and enjoy yourself rather than pressure yourself to somehow be different than you are.
Now, in this format today, whilst listening to this podcast, the way to allow yourself to be on vacation is through your ears.
To listen.
To truly hear what's being said. And you can bypass that knee-jerk reaction of applying it to your life or comparing how you're doing to what we're talking about or the conversation we're going to have with the upcoming guests. It's really about the luxury of bathing in sound, letting it come in without having to do anything.
Without filtering it through what you believe to be true or already think you know.
You ready for a little piece of vacation?
Is that a sip of your coffee?
I'm going to share my espresso with you while I call in our first guest.
This is true love.
Claire, welcome to being here. Oh, I wish people could see you. You look so beautiful and your smile is so sweet. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
I'm zooming in from Waldorf, Maryland, and it's wonderful to see the both of you. Thank you so much.
Welcome to being here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for today's topic for the podcast about vacation and taking a vacation from your own standards. And I think it's particularly apropos because tomorrow, my family and I will leave and go on a vacation to Caswell Beach, North Carolina.
Nice.
Right.
So what do you mean? Because it's not in there by your standards. In our thing, we talked internal pressures, judgments, and expectations. And you've now turned that into internal standards, which is not opposite or wrong. I'm just wondering what you mean by internal standards.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought about it a little when I was, thinking about speaking with you guys. And I guess what I notice is that, and emphasize before something like vacation, I have kind of expectations or an idea of how I want vacation to go. And somehow that always seems to make vacation be less than it could be or something. Does that make sense?
I love you. That is so true. Most of us identify a holiday or something, whether it's when I retire, when I get a boyfriend, when I go on vacation, some future goal as then I will be happy. And then we have pictures around what that looks like. But it never shows up as our pictures. And it's one of the things that Shai and I have gotten into the habit of doing around vacation in the term of you going away with your family on a trip is we've treated every aspect, including packing, driving to the airport if we're taking an airplane, being in the terminal, every aspect of it is as important as once we arrive at our destination, and potentially fun. And then it allows us to celebrate where we are rather than think when we get to this other destination, then our life will start.
Well, you're never on vacation when you're working on what you have to do somewhere in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're busy thinking about what you have to do, you're not taking a break. See, I like the idea of doing when you're doing and not doing when you're not doing, where you're not thinking about what you have to do when you're not there to do it, because that wastes your vacation, it uses it up, you see. You're not vacating when you're supposed to be vacating if you're thinking about what you have to do at work when you get home.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It uses it up. You're right.
The other thing is, it is normal and expected to have ideas of how you would prefer it to go, what you'd like the weather to be like, the mood you'd like your family members to be in, what the travel was like, no traffic, that type of thing. You have ideas of what you would like. And that's not a problem. The game is to recognize you have those, just set them aside and discover how to engage with what is. And we often play the game with engaging what is as if it's our idea.
Okay. Yeah, I really like that. One thing I noticed, oh, sorry, what were you going to say, Shia?
Yeah, well, if your plane's delayed, that's what is. These days, that happens a lot. And you can either upset yourself with it, and our plane coming home was delayed by about 3 hours eventually. But
wow,
we
arrived 3 hours later than we expected to.
And it was, of course, we had ideas of food and it all kept being shifted.
And so, it's like stressful or not stressful. That's up to you. I went out and did something this morning before this podcast, and I noticed that two cars in front of me were really slow. There must have been an accident up on the interstate because the side road that I was on was really congested. And I had an opportunity in that moment to complain to myself about traffic, or just relax and realize that my universe was timing, synchronizing with my universe in that moment. I was just slowing down to get here rather than rushing to get home.
Oh, okay, cool.
We often say this to each other kind of as a joke, but not really. If we suddenly get behind somebody who's really slow and we have the idea we'd like to be moving faster, we take a breath and go, oh, timing our universe. It's like it gives us an opportunity to look out the windows, but also you can either treat that moment in time as if it's wrong or an inconvenience, or recognize that the universe is going when you get there and you're already where you are, so you may as well enjoy it.
Oh, cool.
And where you
Yeah.
are, the only place you can be.
So what did you want to say, Claire?
Yeah. Oh, well, while you guys were talking about that, it made me think of this recent recommendation that Shia made to watch Groundhog Day, I think, on one of the articles of the Premium Excellence Club. And I actually watched that movie recently and I found it so profound and touching. And I just want to thank you, Shia. It's so beautiful. While I was watching it, I realized that this man, he had these experiences and he realized that ultimately it didn't matter whatever was happening in his life. Like whatever happened, it didn't matter. And that made him want to touch others and serve and help them. And it's just so beautiful. I loved it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's sweet.
No matter what he did, his universe showed up exactly as it did.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
And then he realized he could just be miserable every single day forever, or he could invest in what was in front of him and
discover
what was possible.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was neat because you could see that he started to approach things with a sense of urgency. Even like he decides to take piano, and at first the piano teacher won't take him, and he's like, "I have $1,000. I'll get," because he really wants to have a piano lesson that day and get started, and it matters in a way.
Well, it was the only day of his life, you see.
Over.
Yeah.
And over. Well, and there is your key to vacation, because your internal pressures have a assumption, they have an assumption that there's a tomorrow, and it has the impression there was a yesterday, rather than this is it.
Yeah. The only other thing that I thought maybe I could talk about is just that it seems like for some reason when I'm with my family, like certain family members, it's harder to be in the moment, and then I resist that, and then somehow it's even harder to be in the moment, and I'm just not exactly sure how to deal with it or what to do.
Well, here's the thing, Claire. Anything that you resist, wish were different, will dominate your experience of your life. So if you resist the way those family members are, that's all you will think about.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, dear.
Okay.
In this moment, can you be different than you are right now?
No, I can't. I'm just the way I am. This is
Exactly.
Claire.
Right. Now, do you think your family members could be different than the way they are?
No, you're right. I need to have compassion for that. Yeah, I see that.
When you say compassion,
and that you need to, you're giving yourself a directive for how to be in the future, which is change, rather than recognizing sometimes your compassion is not at the forefront of your experience.
Yeah.
And being kind to yourself
about that. See, you've been raised in religion, which has good and bad and right and wrong very, very strongly impressed upon you growing up.
And you are, in my experience, a heartfelt, good person. But you have an overlay of trying to be a heartfelt, good person.
But you already are a heartfelt, good person. So you're trying to be what you already are, so you don't realize that you already are that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
A good person, you want the best for other people. And sometimes they don't do what's best for them. But you know better than they do.
Did you say I think I know better than they do?
Yes, indeed, I said that.
Yes, I definitely do think that. Whoops.
Right.
Sounds like you're human.
And what you don't realize is each of your family members are a facet of God in their own universe. They have done exactly what they wanted. They've created their experience exactly the way they want to. And you really have no right to impose your point of view upon them that they should be different than they are.
I suspect, Claire, that the individuals that you have more challenge being in the moment with are the individuals in your family who are most hard on themselves.
Oh, yes, I think that. Mm-hmm.
So here's a possibility. One is, let's say you're meeting with me and I'm being really hard on myself, and you find you're having a hard time being in the moment, to use your words. If you are kind to yourself about your stirred up nature, rather than trying to fix it, change it, be better, try to change me, if you allow it, it gives me a relief, a possibility to step over with you, rather than, have you ever played the game tug of war?
Yeah, I
So
think.
if we had a rope and you had on one side and I'm on the other, and I'm pulling and you're pulling, that's how people keep ways of relating in place. But if you're not playing the game, if you're not trying to change them, if you just let them be, then the game is over. If you're not resisting you or them, it gives them the opportunity to transform. But you can't do it to get them to transform, because that's change.
And change is where you're trying to fix people so they fit your idea or ideal of how they should be.
Yes, I have that agenda. I have this idea, for example, for vacation, that everyone will have this amazing time and that I will be very mindful on vacation and take everything, and make it really good for everyone.
They will have an amazing time, Claire, if you just listen to them.
Okay, and just let what happens happen.
Well, if you just listen to them, they'll feel heard. And I don't believe they feel heard most of the time.
Yeah.
That's why they repeat the same stories over and over again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you so much, you guys, for talking to me about this. That's very helpful. Thank you.
We have a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
have fun. Be okay that you have fun on a vacation.
Yes, that'll be lovely.
And be really clear, you'll probably hit moments where you are conflicted in your thought process, because why should vacation be any different than the rest of your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
Oh, here I am, I'm fighting with myself. Isn't that funny? If anything you see without judging completes itself in an instant.
Ah, okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
Sweet being with you today. Have a blast and look forward to seeing you
When you get
when
home
you
from
get home.
vacation.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. It's time for our listener feedback spotlight.
Okay, so here we go.
We're going to hear from one of our listeners about how transformation has impacted her life or his life. Let's see.
Yeah. And if you'd like to learn more about what we're up to, you could register for any of our upcoming virtual courses.
Or sign up for our newsletter. Just visit
transformationmadeeasy.com.
It really is easy.
It is easy if you know the way.
This is Katja from Hamburg, Germany. What I truly love with transformation, I discovered to jump into the moment. And then when I'm jumping into the moment, I'm there for the moment and for the possibilities who may arise or not. And I so much learned that not the circumstances make me happy, it is inside of me. Yeah, and that to discover is really such a gift, and I'm thankful.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
We were just speaking with Claire after this first segment, and she mentioned to us that when she first met us, she met us via audio. She took our book with her on vacation and listened to me reading one of our books, and it made the vacation wonderful. We don't regularly talk about all of the great books that we have, but they're awesome. You can see them on our website. You can find them on Amazon or Audible. There are 6 of them, and they are great. They're a great resource, either reading-wise or listening. And Claire said she would take it with her again. Why not? She could always recenter herself. I love reading books more than once. I always see new things when I read them again. Also, she mentioned Premium Excellence Club. It was a subscription series we have that is now turned into Living Made Easy on Demand, where you subscribe for a year, get a video of us talking with amazing people like Claire each week in your inbox. And there are special articles as well. You can find out about that as well as upcoming seminars. We have a Speak Up Day on Saturday, September 23rd. It's a virtual seminar hosted by myself and Susan Finch, a professional speech coach. And it's going to be lively fun, and you'll have an opportunity to speak up and make a fool of yourself in a way where you're really happy about that, because everybody else is too. We're going to take the brakes off and play.
And then we have the Freedom to Breathe and Art of Being a Healer. It's going to be at Camp Tecumseh. That's October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It's a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's going to be awesome. It's
an in-person course, obviously, because it's happening at Camp Tecumseh.
Which is here in New Jersey.
Sleepaway camp for big kids. And it's usually right about there as the height of the leaf season. Then also just want to let you know we're doing a bilingual German-English, English-German seminar virtually in November on the 18th and 19th. And the theme is reclaiming your sense of wonder.
You know, the way little kids find everything so exciting and interesting. That's right.
Costa Rica 2024 is happening. You're welcome. Prerequisite is a weekend seminar. You can find out more about any and all at transformationmadeeasy.com. One more thing before we call in our next guest. Shout out to Corrine.
Yes.
Corrine in Switzerland. And she suggested this title and description, Vacation, and thank you. You've made a difference. All right, let's
take our next guest.
Yes, welcome to being here, Harold. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, this is Harold in New York City, Manhattan, and it is a pleasure to be here. I gotta say, it was a challenge to, with me coming on second, to actually be present, listen, and also not think about what I was going to say about the topic. Because I, to be honest, I forgot in a way. I'm a little tired. I forgot some of the topics that we're talking about. I do remember the topic of judgments, and it is something that I have a challenge with, but I will say, with transformation, it has gotten so much easier to see the judgment and not let it run me, and realize that, we all have it. Now, whether or not you let it run you, or you apply to whoever may say something to upset you, or whatever that judgment is, you don't have to take that on. You can see it and recognize it and move on. So I think the other thing was internal. I'm sorry, it was internal what?
Can I just stop you for a second? Because aside from you're saying some great stuff, I want to go all the way back to you saying that you forgot what you were going to talk about.
I think that's wonderful.
And I love that. You
Okay.
try to go, oh, well, I'm a little tired. And that's why I suggest it's because you were listening.
Right, because no two things can occupy
Like Harry.
the same Harold at the same time. So if he's listening,
Yes.
he's lost in his own
Yes.
thoughts.
All
So
right.
the question went out the window. That's not a failure on your part. I love that you dropped what you thought you were going to say.
To listen to what was actually happening in your universe in that moment.
And truthfully, Harold, we don't care what we talk about.
Yeah, really, Harold.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not trying to get you
You're
anywhere.
such a delight. So, if you don't have a question, we're not, this is not
It's an opportunity to hang out
with
and be on
Harold.
vacation with you.
Okay. Well, I will say that the going on vacation, what I have noticed about going on vacation in my mind, there are periods now where I will sit, it's quiet, there's no, whatever external sounds there are, I will find myself where I'm at peace and the thoughts are not running through my head. It's just being there, being quiet. And it's just amazing that, wow, how good this feels. It's just, and because I don't, at least if it did happen, I don't remember, but I haven't gotten that feeling before I was involved in transformation. And the being present and being in the moment, it's like I'm not making any money off of it. There's no gifts coming in, I'm not making love or whatever, but it's just a good feeling just to experience that. And it's like, wow, you don't have to do anything and you feel good.
So let me get this straight. Are you, Harold, saying that you're enough?
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Not always, though. I will say not always.
Well,
But
you're
yeah.
human. So of course not always. Sometimes the mind takes hold or it grabs.
But even that, you have moments where you feel really good in your skin, where you're okay and you're okay with the world the way it is.
Yes.
You wrote something to us a couple of years ago, actually, an email that's just popped into my mind because I was so moved by it. We were doing being in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it was at Camp Tecumseh. And at that time, your health was not such that you could attend.
Right.
And you wrote us an email after being in nature, sitting on a park bench in New York City.
Yes.
And you were talking about how profound it was to sit there without the drive to do something else, similar to what you were describing a little earlier a few minutes ago in our conversation. And I remember being so moved by it because circumstances was such that you couldn't attend the seminar, but you were willing to step into joining the essence of possibility that transformation provides. And then you fed it back to this community. It was just the sweetest thing. And I can picture you sitting there on this bench and feeling the dappled sun and the birds and the sounds. And it wasn't like you were trying to get rid of the city sounds. It was part of the music in the air. It was very sweet.
You know, and yes, Sarah, I recall that. And another twist to that was that it wasn't a sunny, a warm day. It was, I believe, I think it was in the fall. It was a little chilly, and also, now you said to me before, it's not in spite of it, but included in that, I was still able to feel well, because I could have easily went on that bandwagon like, oh man, it's cloudy, or it's cold and it's that. But I was able to include that and still feel well. And look, it's transformation, man. I mean, coming to you guys, oh boy, I'm getting a little choked up. Coming to you guys is really, really, really helped to make a difference in my life. So, and like you say from time to time, it's not rocket science. Now, of course, you know how the mind is and what it does, but if these tools can really, really, really help you to deal and be well within yourself in the day-to-day. So thank you.
So you're welcome. But I'll tell you something, Harold. You have used us well. You've taken our technology and you've used it to live your life and enjoy your life, no matter what your physical ailments were.
Yes.
So about, what is it, about 8 or 10 years ago?
Yeah, 2014 when it happened.
Years ago, you got really sick, and you were paraplegic for a while.
Yes, I was.
And you've worked your way back, man. I have nothing but admiration for what you've gone through, and that you've used what we had to say to support your well-being through that is nothing less than a miracle.
Thank you.
I guess you're a miracle, Harold.
Oh man, yes. And there's still more to come. So, as long as I'm here on the face of Earth, I'm gonna keep coming, and I'm progressing in my, in my physicality. So yeah.
I don't think you say that, Harold, because when you say it, you're not, there's more to come because I'm effed up. And so I better get to that more to come. It's a commitment to possibility, which is what transformation is about. And you come with consistency to our Living Made Easy seminars. By the way, there's one up this upcoming Saturday, and there's one on Monday. We have them with regularity so that people can have a consistency of well-being.
You see, here's the thing. The planet, the people on the planet are living in a paradigm of change where everything is over time, it's incremental, it's linear, it's getting somewhere, it's having goals that will make you better someday. Transformation is about an instantaneous shift. So in this moment, you're perfect. In this moment, you've succeeded. In this moment, your life is going just the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
And, I mean, you can either disagree with that, which is everybody's right, or you can discover there are things outside what you already believe to be true that could make a huge difference in the quality of your life if you discover them. And so what we're about is creating possibilities for people to discover alternate ways of thinking and being, especially with themselves.
In a way that we all, we, the listener, can experience his or her own perfection.
Yes. I like to say something and what Claire was saying with her family and how, because I'm also in that how my family, when I'm around it, how they can push buttons and trigger me. And I've gotten from coming here that that's what family members can do. I have gotten a lot better at dealing with it, but there has been times, and my brother in particular, where I lost it and we got combative. And I was able to look back and say, wait a minute, my brother is who he is. And I'm not sure who said it, but whatever my brother is not used to either being listened to or he has internal stuff. And Harold, he's bringing out whoever you are, just bringing it out of him. It's not against you, Harold. He is not well with himself.
You're having some self-talk there, Harold. I'm always in trouble talking to myself.
So here's the thing, Harold. You either discover your perfection or your barriers to your perfection. Now, if you discover your barrier to your perfection and you allow yourself to experience it, it can dissolve. So, your brother's actually doing you a favor by pushing your buttons. Because if you have buttons that are pushable,
okay,
then why not dissolve that stuff?
Okay.
See, that's the thing about transformation. It's not about trying to get somewhere. It's discovering about where you are in current time in your life.
Okay.
I also think people misunderstand. It's like, oh, my family. My experience is family in general is the PhD program for being here.
Wow.
It's really like you practicing the skill set.
Well, once Ariel and I went skiing in Switzerland, just once. I was doing very well on the bunny slope. The beginning.
Yep.
Ariel grew up skiing on Mount Hood in Oregon. So she's a really excellent skier, even though she thinks she's mediocre.
Right.
So she said, come on, this intermediate slope is
easy.
I went down that mountain on my butt. Now, that was okay. The thing is, what is easy doesn't make you a great skier. If you're not upset because you're staying away from people, that's not going to handle the upsets that live in you.
Okay.
Here's the other thing about your family. They are the closest to you in a way. They have genetics. You share genetics. So I think that the internal workings of you are more easily accessed. We talk about synchronization. It's a word we made up where you link and you sync up. Well, you're already synchronized with family members. What's interesting is I actually think it reveals to you the parts of you that you don't like. Meaning, if I judge one of my sisters for something,
okay,
a place where I judge myself. And it's like, if you really resist or don't like someone, usually they have aspects of themselves that you judge in yourself. And that if you can,
So if you can be kind to yourself and them by extension, those aspects of yourself that you're not happy with can complete themselves, can lose their power over you. Because, man, you're perfect the way you are. You don't have to change anything.
Okay.
I have a feeling that at some point, most of us think that if we've invested in transformation for a while, and we've got these three principal things kind of under our belt, what you resist, persists, and life shows up as it does, anything you see, that there shouldn't be any more ragged edges. We should be able to handle everything.
I thought I was over this already.
Right.
And I really see that life keeps providing us the next
Well,
possibility.
you
the
know,
next
it's like
possibility.
video games where you go to the next level and the monsters get bigger and the ammunition you get is stronger.
Mm. Mm.
You keep strengthening yourself. The
Mhm.
universe is constantly showing up newly, and if you're here for it, you become appropriate to your life.
I have a question.
Yes.
You've forgiven yourself yet for, to use your term, losing it with your brother and getting combative?
Yes. Oh, but I will say, I recently had a conversation with him, and I almost went down that rabbit hole. And
Whoa,
Almost.
hold on. That is brilliant. You see, you're strengthening the muscle of being in the moment where you see that you're going to go down that rabbit hole and you don't do it.
Because
So-
usually you don't see the rabbit hole, all of a sudden you're there. You're like
You're
in the
right in
fight.
it.
Then for many people, you see the rabbit hole, but you can't help yourself, you go down it anyway. And then there's this possibility that you see the rabbit hole and you're like, oh, I'm backing out of that.
well, you know, what happened was, what I noticed was, after the conversation, after we hung up the phone, I don't know whether it was 20, 15, or 30 minutes, but I went into a place where I was upset. But what I believe, through transformation, after that period, it was gone. I didn't think about it the next day, the day after that, the day after that. It was gone. So I believe that because of transformation, I had those feelings. I'm not denying it, but it didn't stay with me.
That's because if you don't judge those feelings, if you allow yourself to experience them, they're over. It's done, complete. You don't
Okay.
drag the next day. You're on vacation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Treat being with you today.
Yes, really a treat being with you, Harold. Thank you so
you.
much for being in our lives.
Thank you. The feeling's mutual. Thank you.
Mm. Well, everyone, did you enjoy today's podcast? If so, you can share it on your favorite podcast app, or you can even put it, links to it on LinkedIn, like share episodes wherever you get your content, Facebook, your Twitter, whatever it is that you enjoy. Make it possible for other people. And if you want to do that, great, thanks in advance. And if not, let it go. You don't have to think about it. You're perfect. We'll be back next week, but before we go, we're going to tell you next week's episode. Ready?
Relax. You've got this.
Yeah, relax. You got this.
That's right.
We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't miss
Being
being here.